So good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is round number one of the Orion Shopfitters Euro Tour. And we are at round number one. We're at Valencia. And for those who have just joined us, we do have a few drivers that are currently out on track. We have got a few that have decided that time to get out there and have a go. We've got Lala, who is our first dibs here this evening. Yes, we are racing in Spain tonight. We're actually at Valencia. We've also got Lucas Cornelius Jobert, yo beauty. He did join us last night during my stream. All the best to all the drivers. Thank you very much. We also had a Henny Kraus giving us a like there. Thank you very much for that, Henny. As you've seen, guys, we've got 12 minutes of the qualifying left here this evening. It is sprint races. We are at Valencia. And I must say, quite mixed feelings that we've had around this track. Some guys saying that they love it. Some guys say that they absolutely hate it. And as soon as I mention the track Mazzano, people seem to lose their mind slightly. I definitely feel that it is a track that I like. In all honesty, I wasn't spending too much time on it, and that's only because I put my time in the Kalami race for the race that I did, what was that, last night with the boys from LNR. 15 drivers here this evening. We had a Terry Wilfred who had entered in. He was on the roster for this evening, but is unfortunately going to miss this first race. We are going to get him re-qualified for the next one. But we've got Chris Heineke, Flip van Sale, Gary van der Haar, who's currently there. We've got Terry Wilfred on the chat saying, go LTR boys. Let's say, Rudy Base, good evening. What DLC do you need for the series? Well, Mr. Base, that is very interesting that you say, but you're going to need the British GT pack, which is going to have the latest cars as well as the track. But let's have a chat tomorrow. I'll definitely give you a call and make sure that you come and join us. But let's have a look in terms of who's been able to get some times up. We can get a secondary time there. So Wilfred Robson currently 133.9. He's at the top. Gary van der Haar 134.8. Chris Heineke, Flip van Sal, Marcus Stein still in the pits. Sean Lerero, he's out at the moment, gonna have a go. And yes, was gonna have a go. So he was on track, but is there he is there. Cameraman Tim just looking at the wrong driver, and Sean Lerero in that a chic, the Extreme 3 Porsche, very nice looking livery. Adrian Bond set a time of 136.7. We've also got a newcomer to our racing series, that is Len Neary. Getting behind the wheel. I think this is the first time since about August, he said that was the last time he had a go. So really good to see Len driving. And then we've had a visitor who's come and joined us, and that is Mr. Charles Wilkin, who raced the SARCO a couple of years ago during our console days. And here he is coming and joining us. Oh, I was just about to say, Jude Neville was the quickest at the top there with a 133.2, but then it was Wilfred Robson that put a 133.1. Mr. Wayne Bond not racing this evening, but did say he would be on the stream. Thank you, Wayne, for joining us. Just making sure that everybody is able to hear the sounds coming through, as well as Vaughan approves of this and giving us a lacquer there from all the way from the Netherlands. So let's see who hasn't put up a time yet. We've still got Crip, Flip and Marcus Stein in the pits. And this is a one-lap flyer. You get one chance to go out, get that lap in. So someone who is out on track, there is Adrian Bond in the Orion Shopfitters livery. So now you kind of know who's gone and backed us here at SARCO. Another driver out on track is Mr. Tyler Scott. I'm sure he'll be racing with Robert, and the two of them working together to ensure that they put up their best appearance. And it's quite interesting that the colors that Tyler has chosen are pretty similar to the colors that he would use during his console days. So it doesn't look like Tyler has done a lap. Thank you, Lalo. And said I will start the race with the Speedy Gonzalez. Arriba. And one of the funniest things of my son is that there was an episode where he says, what's his name? Daffy walks in and says to the bugs, I thought you got rid of your mouse, your rat problem. He says, I'm not a rat, I'm a mouse. Anyway, my son would have enjoyed that. Okay, Adrian Bond, 134.3. Gary, 134.8. Who else is on track? So there, Tyler Scott now on a flyer. And just behind him is Orion Shopfitters, and I'm sure Lala will be looking very, very closely at Ruan's performance here. Rafael Tavares saying, have a good race, guys. Raf, I honestly thought you were going to be racing, my man. So if you do get a gap, enter. Remember, we do have the 1 round drop, and come and join us for the next one. So there is still time to join. So there are, just looking at our SimGrid, 24 drivers have entered. So we are a little bit down. We've got 3 of the Adrian guys that are away this evening. But there will be some penalties being served there. So 5.5 minutes left to go for the qualifying. We've got Len Nearing saying bye. GG. Good game. Good going. So Ruan Heineke puts it in 4th. Oh, I just realized that pit is a little bit dodgy. As you pull over to the side, that it's actually right there on the pit exit. So returning to the series is Michael Struvic. See Michael getting rid of his McLaren and jumping in the Lamborghini Evo. Using a lot of that inside curve. Very aggressive line through there. Which is awesome to see. And we've got Sarah Tavares, who's, I hope I've said that right, has given us a like there. Ashol Walken now out on track in his 200 Lamborghini. We will jump back to him, but let's have a look. Michael Struvic out on a sighting lap. Thanks, Len. So it was supposed to be a GG from Len. Meanwhile, the comment that just came up there is that it was supposed to be GG, but his phone auto-corrected that. That's absolutely quite funny. So now Michael Struvic is going to be getting that flying lap in. Gunredi Scholl's already got some sector time, so he is currently out on his flying lap this evening. So Charles Wilkin puts up the fastest time, and that is just over 1 second quicker than Wilfred Robson in first place there. He was in first, now in second. So it looks like Charles definitely come around to challenge the boys here in ACC. So see Flip Van Zyl just exiting out of the pits in that number 5. So we see Reichardt joining and say, why is Len in the pits? He wants to see laps. Well, he has gone out. Len needs to just do a qualifier, but I think Len's going to be taking it pretty easily. So as Michael approaches the line, he crosses line and puts himself in 5th, basically splitting the two Schick boys, and puts himself in 5th place in that Evo. And now it looks like it is going to be the last of the drivers. There's 4 drivers that have now left the pits. All pretty close. So it is Marius Botma. Who's that? Marius, Chris Heineke, and Marcus Steyn. The 3 of them quite close together. And Flip Van Zyl in the Ferrari Hydro 5 car. So Flip now on his a flying lap. So the Morris Botma, who has come across from the console world and joined in the racing with LTR. Ruan Heineke, let's go. Oh, big sideways motion there for Chris Heineke. LTR saying hoi coconuts, and yes, we are officially a Code Coconuts. So if you'd like to drop an F-bomb or an S-bomb, just replace it with coconuts, and then what happens is it makes our show family friendly and everybody can join with no fear that you're not swearing as somebody's mother's coconut. Mr. Peter Hardeman, welcome, also known as Sly Pete. Pete's having moved to the UK. We need to get you racing with us, Pete. Come on. So Flip Van Zyl is on that flyer. There's only 12 seconds left of qualifying. So once these 4 have across the start-finish line, that will be the end of the qualifying, and we'll start heading to race number 1. Peter Hardeman is shedding the love there. So a Flip approaches line, he crosses the line, puts himself second, and within the 32.8, so still 0.7 off the time of Charles Wilkin. Then we've got Marius, Chris, and Marcus Steyn, the 3 of them very close together. Lala telling Ron that he's a lazy muppet, and I call my son a lazy muppet, and sometimes he's a muhu, and then when he's really bad, then he's a muppet, because that's a muhu and a muppet together. So here we go, Marius across the line puts himself 9th, then it is Chris who goes up into 5th, then in the background, let's see where does not come up, I didn't see where, oh there's Marcus Steyn, he goes into 2nd place. So a great sudden death lap there for Marcus. Just need to reset my cameras. There we go. And unfortunately, I am doing it solo this evening. My wingman, Tyler Humphreys, is currently away. So to everyone joining on the stream, thank you very much, guys, for joining us. Don't forget that this season is brought to you by Orion Shopfitters. I was going to say the details are in the link, but now that I'm looking at the details, they're not there. Sorry, Wayne. I will ensure that they are uploaded. But then we've also got some product hampers from a Chic Shaving. And then I have to just give that a shout out to MSI, who are part of the sponsors of the SARCO machine that brings out these dual streams, as well as NAG, who are the suppliers powered by Nutanix of our practice servers, who are based in Midrand. So for those who had joined us in the last season, we had that manual formation lap. We took it to a vote, and turns out that more than 65% of the people didn't want that, and we listened to our drivers, so we got rid of it. And by us getting rid of it, we have gone to the manual game, the game-assisted short formation lap. Into the start, into turn 1, and we will be a race. And that was Chris Haneke going backwards. That's pretty interesting. Something's happened there to Marcus, because he should be up into second place. Oh, there he goes there. That looks like that was panic motion, so we're definitely gonna try and get hold of him to see what what had happened there. But that is green, and we're racing here at Valencia, round number 1 of our Orion Shopfitters in Endurance Series. And Jude already dropping down, Wilfred Robson dropping down, but clear through the first couple of corners. And there was a warning to say, gentlemen, the first couple of corners are generally too wide, so just be cautious of that. But it is, whoa, Chris Haneke, a big moment over the curb there. So you can see him now dropping down the order. So that is now put him way down at 14th place. And Scholl Wilken out in front, with Marcus Day in second, Jude van Zyl in third, with Flip van Zyl in fourth. But it is the green Lamborghini out in front, starting to pull away. And as we go through the middle of the field, we can see Sean Lorero in fifth, then it's Wilfred Robson sixth, Michael Struvik in 7th place, Ruan Haneke, he's in 8th, Adrian Bond, then it is Gary van der Haar, Tyler Scott, Robert Stoltz, Chris Haneke, Len Neary, and then Marius Bothma down in a 15th position. We also heard that overtaking on this track is extremely difficult. And currently the fastest man on track. What a great shot, seeing all the cars now officially on the back straight. Marcus Steyn was one of the drivers that was fighting for that first place. Ooh, very wide there from the Chic boys, as they now go too wide, and Flip van Zyl looks like he's slipped up into third place, going ahead of Sean. It's Jude Neville dropping down from third place all the way down into sixth, so he's losing out there. Also see Gary under lots and lots of pressure now, and that is Chris Haneke in that Porsche, but really battling to get that car hooked up. Gap open there for Chris, and able to just slide that one through. So definitely very, very close. You can see 2 wide now. Kind of lost track of where they are. We've got Omar Khan saying, good evening. Good evening, guys. I hope you're well. So Chris Heineke now is able to get past Marius. I wonder whether that's got to do with something with the wheel. I know he did say that it just seemed to be some issues that were happening. The wheel was just disconnecting. But so far we have got a battle here for a 3rd and a 4th place, and this is between the 2 Schick LTR by Schick cars. See Sean Lorero now having a little look on the inside into turn 1, but Flip van Zyl going around the outside, carrying a lot more speed. And I'm pretty sure there might be some track warnings there from Sean. But it looked like he was able to adjust a drop. And a 100% there, Pete. Lots of tire marbles off that racing line, and you will be penalized. Now 2 wide again. And what's happening is Wilfred Robson just about 3 wide now as they head into turn number 6. And Jude Neville with Michael Strivik all over the back of these 3. And it is Sean Lorero who's going to be seeing 3 wide battles headed now his way. So very, very close in this midfield. And when I say midfield, this is the battle for 3rd all the way down to 7th position. And now Ruan Heineke in 8th place. He's been able to tag onto the back of Michael Strivik. So once again, it is very, very close in terms of who can possibly take this win here. Ruan Heineke using as much of that track as he can. And now this is Wilfred versus Jude as they come towards turn number 1. My Jakes approves of this. Welcome, my Jakes. Jeez, I must actually give you a call, man. But awesome to see you on the stream, having a little look. And Jude under massive pressure there by not only Wilfred Robson, but Flip van Zyl still there with Michael Strivik and Ruan Heineke. Whoa! That was Wilfred getting it a little bit wrong there. Let's just have a quick look. Is it going to be enough time? No, just wasn't enough time to get that replay. I'll definitely just fix that timing. I thought it was set correctly, but unfortunately it was not. But now Wilfred's going to have his work cut out for him. So now as Wilfred drops from this battle, this little pack starting to just open up a little bit. Sean Lorero in 3rd place. Now 4 seconds behind the man in 2nd, that's Marcus Steyn. And the race leader now, Charles Wilkin, who's just put down the fastest lap time of a 1:31.78. So we've got the L&R boys who are saying they're watching from the pub. We're going to have to just drop a picture, stick it in our Discord. Remember, guys, I said I wanted proof of evidence there. So far the closest battle is between Michael Strivik. And as I say that, we've got Gary van der Haar, who is now right on the back of Tyler Scott. In the Golf-inspired livery on that Aston Martin. So Gary, his first 2 sectors, his quickest so far. And just tailing behind just a little bit in that third sector. Tyler runs himself a little bit wide. Is Gary going to be able to get that pedal down, tuck up in behind Tyler and look for an overtake? But now they go through that turn 9 and 10 then into this last corner now. That was through turn 12. Still not completely familiar with all the corners, but you can see Gary looking for an opportunity to catch a slipstream. And Tyler doing everything he can to defend, and just about on the marbles there. Tyler holding on that very, very wide exit. So a great battle here. I just need to jump one place up because there is more pressure being applied. And that is onto the back of Adrian Bond. Because that is Wilfred Robson in a 9th place. And just behind him, we saw Chris Haneke has got the pace. Just struggling a little bit with that rear. We saw him catching that curb, and now he's trying to make his way through. Very close on the back there. So what I'd like to do is jump on board with Chris Haneke. This is what it looks like chasing these two. Duncan from SARCO Motorsports in the UK saying, yoo-hoo, whoa! Almost having a look there was Chris, but it looked like that Wilfred did leave a little bit of enough space here for him. So Chris looks like he did get the drive. He will have the inside line. And this turn number 1 is extremely quick. You actually carry a lot more speed through there than you think. And you can just see that rear. Whoa! Big moment there for Wilfred, but just being able to hang on to it. So we have 14 minutes left of this race. Charles Wilkin out in front. Marcus staying in a second. Charles Lerero, he is in 3rd place, followed by Jude, followed by Flip, then Marcus Rubik 1.3 seconds behind Flip van Zyl. Ruan Heineke in a 7th place with Adrian Bond in 8th. And now it is Chris Haneke in a 9th place, chasing down Adrian Bond in that Orion Shopfitters BMW. Wilfred 2.3 seconds behind this battle, with Gary 6 seconds behind. Then Tyler, he is in a 12th place with Robert Stoltz in a 13th, and Len Neary having a go in a 14th position. And Len learning a new game, a new car, and a new track, all to come and join us here this evening. But this is pressure, pressure, pressure now for Adrian Bond. He has got the silver Chris Haneke machine right behind him. Oh, we got somebody off, and that was Ruan Heineke. You see that he had a little off there. Let's just jump back and see the replay here. So going into turn number 1. So he's fine through turn number 1. Looks like a little bit wide, and the car just over rotates into turn number 2. That's pretty interesting to see. But that now it drops him down into a 9th place. So I'm sure he will be absolutely kicking himself. But it is a battle of the Porsches now for 3rd and 4th. Not to forget that Flip van Zyl is there behind the Porsches, pulling Michael Struwik with. So there's a confirmation that Chris Haneke has got himself up into 7th place, managed to get himself ahead of Adrian Bond. And now, unfortunately, it is another Haneke that Adrian Bond is going to feel. And that car just doesn't look like that rear's hooked up. We saw Ron getting a little bit loose here the previous lap, but he seems to be okay this time around. So Michael Struwek has closed up that gap between himself and Flip van Zyl now within a second. But it is the two Extreme 3 Porsches out in 3rd and 4th place between Sean Herrera and Jude. So it looked like Jude got a much better exit in that 296 Porsche, and he just had to let go of that throttle just a little bit as they head into the second last corner. Now on the brakes, it's going to be about who gets the better exit speed down this main straight. And a Michael Struwek right on the back of a Flip van Zyl. Not only that is Adrian Bond feeling the Haneke pressure currently in that Haneke sandwich. Is Ruan going to have a look to the inside? Not close enough. So we will jump back to the battle for a 3rd and 4th place, plus 5th and 6th place. And with just over 10 minutes to go, while I say I'm not a betting man, I do like to try and predict stuff. But let me know, guys, out of these 4, is it going to be a Sean or Jude, Michael or Flip? Let me see those comments. I'd love to see what happens in the end as Jude goes way too deep. And that's now put him in the clutches of a Flip van Zyl. Ruan just about outbraking himself and getting really, really close to the back of Adrian. But it is also the man in 10th place who is seeing this battle. And now he's being welcomed up to this party. But it just shows you how competitive the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th place guys are. Just want to have a look at the lap time. So it is 32.4 for Jude, 32.6 for Sean, 32.3 for Flip and 32.5 for Michael, which means that it is 0.3 is the gap between these 4 drivers currently. And unfortunately 0.3 is just not enough to be overtaking your opponent. But Sean really hanging on to all this pressure and being able to keep Jude behind him as well as Flip. But that's Adrian running a little bit wide and just allowing Ruan to get right up there. Will he have a look to the inside? So he is. Adrian leaves him enough space, but he'll have the faster outside line now as they head towards the S's. Ruan on the inside. And it goes a little bit deep. Adrian and now comes back on the inside. And it is around the outside. Just enough space there for Ruan to get himself through. So a very closely contested there. And it looks like Ruan. Oh no, Adrian! Oh, big moment there for Adrian. We'll just go back there into the replay. We can just have a look. We'll see he just catches the curb there, and what that does is just upsets it. And that unfortunately pushes him off. So 7 minutes left to go. Charles Wilkin out ahead by 9 seconds, followed by Marcus in second place. Sean Lerero still in third with Jude right behind him, and there looks like there's contact in the back there between Michael and Flip van Zyl. Let's just jump back and have a look at the replay. You can see how close these four currently are. And it looked like a Flip was right on the back of Jude. Was that just coming into... Oh! It was just a little bit too hot there for Michael, and unfortunately just collecting the back. Now Chris Heineke has now gone around the outside of Flip van Zyl. But it does look like Michael Struwek has given that place back to Flip van Zyl. But in doing so, he has lost that place to Chris Heineke. So just over 5.5 minutes left to go of the race. And it is still the close battle of the Porsches in a second and third. And this is the two teammates in the Schick Extreme Porsches. You just see how Jude's rear just hooked up as he came out of that hairpin. And unfortunately, Marius currently in the pits, just knowing that something definitely went wrong there. Such a pity, because Marius was really looking good. Qualified that a mid-pack, I think qualified 9th, so it would have been pretty much in the mix there with Wilfred and Gary van der Haar. So 4.5 minutes left to go, 3 laps, and that will be the end of the first heat. Remember guys, this is the first race of 2. The second race will start at just about at 9:10 for the second race. We got a thumbs up there from Gerrit. Thank you very much, Gerrit. I'm sure we saw that earlier on though. Nevertheless, we'll take it. So back to a third and fourth place. While Ashol out in front has got a bit of breathing space there. Realize what I've done because we aren't able to see the splits. So my apologies. We won't want the personal best, we want the race gaps. There we go, that makes more sense now. So now at least everybody's able to see what the gaps are. Sorry guys, apologies. We have been off for a couple of weeks. So Rechot, this one is just for you. There's your man. So Len Neary is still circulating, keeping their car on track, and he's using a lot of the track, I must add. So he is definitely having a go. Ooh, 154 last lap, not a great one. But now Len is going to be feeling that pressure because just behind him he's got the 2 Porsches coming up. Oof. And Jude is very loose, and so was Sean there. And Len doing the right thing and getting very much out of the way. So while these guys are very, very close, it is Flip van Zyl who's on the back of Chris Heineke again. So it doesn't look like this tell has been written just yet. So 1 3/4 left of this race. So it looks like Charles will do this plus one more. And Charles getting right up onto the back of Len in his Ferrari. Len moving over and giving way. And it looks like Sean has got himself just a little bit of breathing space there between himself and fourth place Jude. Those track limits in turn 1 seem like they are very, very lenient. But Flip looking for a way to get in front of this Porsche of Chris Heineke. So I see we've got Scholl is now heading into the last corner there in the track map at the top, car number 200 with 25 seconds left to go. So there will be one more lap after this one. So there is that confirmation of the final lap. So Jude still looking for a way as they cross the line to begin their final lap. And there's that battle in the background there between Chris and Flip van Zyl, followed very closely by Michael Strubeck. Oh, Jude right on the back of Sean's car. Still not sure how those two didn't touch there. It's Sean holding that inside line. Jude trying to go around the outside now. But now he will have to set himself on the inside now because it's now on the... Oh, looks like there's contact now between Len and Michael. As much as I want to go and see that replay, I am going to keep it on this battle here as Jude try to look to the inside. And at the same time, while this is happening, we've got Flip van Zyl still trying to find a way around Chris Heineke. But this is the battle for a second and third. So there's confirmation. Charles Wilkin comes home in first place with Marcus Steyn in second. Sean Lerero and Jude Shaw. Big sideways motion there as he comes into that last corner. So a very closely battle there. Chris Heineke comes home with fifth place, with Flip van Zyl in sixth, followed by Wilfred and Michael. It looks like Wilfred will get that place. Then it is Michael Strubeck, followed by Gary van der Haar. Very, very close there. Then it is Orion Heineke, Adrian Bond, Tyler Scott. Then Robert Stoltz, Len Neary, and Marius, unfortunately, are not being able to complete that lap. The race. So we're just sorting out the plans for the reverse grid. But essentially now it will be Ruan Heineke who will start off in a pole position with Gary van der Haar in a second. Then it is Michael Struvik in third. Wilfred Robson in fourth. Flip van Sale fifth. Chris Heineke sixth. Jude Neville, he'll start off in a seventh place. Eighth place goes to Sean Lerero, with ninth place Marcus Steyn, and the first winner here this evening is Charles Wilkin. He'll start off in a 10th position. So we've just got Bashir ZA who has just subscribed. Bash, thank you very much for that follow.
Hello.
Welcome, Jude. That was probably one of the craziest races I've had the privilege of watching. Yourself and Sean just not able to find a way past him, and that car seemed very, very slidey in the last couple of laps of the race.
Yeah, I don't know what I'll say other than yes, it was very slowly for that last one. Which was fun. I mean, I managed a bit. I had the start of my last time, I'm not sure if it was on stream, but went on the inside of it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was, but it was a good race. A very, very good race.
And just in terms of you racing in Valencia, I know people have compared it to the likes of Mazzano. Your field, do you like the track? Don't like the track? What is your thoughts there?
I like the track. It's a bit. Are we doing reversal race or reversal quali?
That is correct.
Which one?
Of quali 1.
When you put it. Okay, well, this is the race results. You put in a little bit. Yeah. Carry on talking. Yeah, I like Valencia. It's a nice track. You can abuse the track, but it's quite. Well, I say you can abuse the track, but it's about 3 track cuts within the first 2 laps. So that's all while being quite patient. I couldn't do much more than that.
So I must ask that the track limits there into that turn number 1. How lenient are those the track limits there? Because it looked like a lot of the guys were taking a lot of that that runoff there into turn 1.
As long as you have 2 wheels on the green turf, it's fine. It's legal. It's through there. That's track limits through there is the green turf. You have to have 2 wheels on the green turf at all times, and that's track limits. The changes for the rest of the rest of the track is you have to have 2 tires on the curves at all times.
Okay, very, very interesting. So we are just obviously making sure that the new server is up. We're getting that reverse grid in. So now, obviously, with you having finished 4th, you're going to be starting a little bit further down the order. What is the plan as you now approach this new later on in the day?
Well, I can. The rear tires aren't going to be shouting my name at the top of their lungs, so I can push harder, which is good. Gives me more leniency. Not really much. Just be aggressive, and just try to gain positions as quickly as you can. That is my strategy at least. Is it a good one? I don't know, but we'll see.
So I must ask this question, and I'm pretty sure that Sean Lerero will be listening. The two of you driving in the same team effectively. But do you think you fast him, and are you going to be pulling away from him, is the question I have.
Well, he apologized for holding me out, so I think he's answered his own question right there.
Okay, fair enough.
Even though I would say he had got quicker lap times, but I think over the course of since, I think in the end I was quicker.
Okay, so you do feel that you're going to be pulling away from him?
Not much, I think at the end of the race will only be like a 2-second gap, but it's the small little margins.
Okay. No, absolutely fantastic. To anybody that is out in the chat, if there's a question you want to drop us, maybe we can put Jude on the spot. Like, Jude, are you single?
I'll be killed if I say yes. I mean, no. So, yes, I am, and it is the truth.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, let's see. So grid has been set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. Yeah, grid's been set. Yeah, we'll just hopefully Terry can make it for round 2, because I'm not sure how quickly people left that first server. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, thoughts on track. It's a nice track to race on. Not too many overtaking opportunities. I think optimal places would be get on someone's inside into T1, and then use that to get on to dive down into T2, because that's you can be, if you trail break, you can be very late in the race there. And then I think for me at least around down into the final corner, if they make a mistake over the, the curves there,
yes.
The start of the final left, the far start of the left part. If they make a mistake, you can definitely make a move into there. I think I pulled on Robson there, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it's a good track, good place to race. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to say unless there's questions.
So there is a curb on the inside. We saw, we had Chris Heineke just caught a bit of a curb, and as well as Adrian Bond. I think it's through closer to turn 8 and 9. But it seems to be the only place where there is the curb, or are there other places at this track will actually kill you?
Yes, there's other places not by curb, but by just it catches you out. So I'm just getting a track map in front of me because I do not know turn numbers here. So through you're saying turn 9. Turn 9. What? Okay. Where on the track does Chris have at the moment?
Hold on, let me just bring up that. So it is through the left and right. So yeah, I think it is. Oh, it's actually through turn 5. Apologies. Through turn 5, there's a big curb there.
The curb there you can hit. I think I aim to hit it. It's just on exits. If you get on far too early, you have no rear grip, so you're kind of starting to drift at that point. But yeah, so Teal's probably just going a bit over limit in terms of the grip of his rear tires there. Especially in the Porsche, it's very easy for the rear end to get loose.
Ah, got you.
Wait for the next question.
While we just wait for the guys, let's just have a little look at our proper video, probably brought to you by.
I think that we've all had enough. Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Right, guys, we will be back in the next 2 minutes or so, just waiting for that server to start up, and we will get cracking. But a big thank you to everybody who has currently joined us on the stream. It is because of all of you that come and watch the racing that we're able to bring you these amazing shows. So thank you very much to everybody. Just running through some of the comments that's coming through. So we've got Lucas saying, great battle there by these two drivers. So Jude, that was for you and Sean Lorero. As well as Len saying, public apology for not getting out the way quick enough. Did not realize that there were 5 cars passing on the blue flags. And that's what happens. And we saw how close that battle is for 3rd, 4th, then 5th, 6th, and 7th. And that was with Chris Heineke, Flip Van Zel, and who was that? Michael Struvic, who was being pulled with through on that battle. And a question here, Jude, this is for you. It's come from Tyler Humphrey saying, why are you so slow? I don't think he means that. So, yeah, Tyler Humphrey should have joined us. But unfortunately, he is away, so no worries. We'll have Tyler in the comms box with us once again next week. So, great trailer there, Dylan. Thank you very much, Tyler. I wonder where that came from. And Rudy Bay saying, time for me to join the racing again. Rudy, you have absolutely no idea. Come and join us here on the PC world and come and be a part of this absolute crazy race. So guys, we will be back shortly. Just gonna make sure that I have not missed the server. So just gonna go do some behind the scenes stuff. So the server is not up just yet. There we go. Okay guys, we are back. We're just waiting for Anthony Null has just followed us as we come back in. Thank you very much for that, Anthony. Let's just get our ACC TV reconnected. There we go, everybody are now joining in. There is no practice. What will happen is we're going into reverse grid. The top 10 from qualifying 1 going to the reverse grid. The grid has been set. And then you can see all the wonderful confusing stuff that is up on the screen. We have to then go back in. And then we are back to our stream quality. So 15 drivers in, and we see we've got Terry Wolford, who has been able to join this time. Not too sure why he was not able to join in the previous session. But just over 20 seconds left of the session to go. Then we go straight into that final race, and it is going to be a crazy. Remember, top 10 reverse grid. And those starting positions are as follows. It is Ruan Heineke starts off in first place. That's flowering thing. I don't want it like that. I want it like that. like that. There we go. So Ruan Heineke starts us off in first place. Then it is Gary van der Haar, Michael Struwik in third. It's going to be awesome to see. Michael was on the back of Flip van Zyl for a majority of that race. Now starting up in third. Wilfred Robson in fourth. He had some pace later on. Flip van Zyl was in fourth for quite a bit of a time there, with that unfortunate coming together with Michael just outbraking himself and pushing Flip off. Chris Heineke was able to just get himself ahead of Flip during that and was able to fend off Flip for those last 3-4 laps or so. Jude and Sean's Lerero was absolutely incredible. And now Jude ahead of Sean. And we did hear Jude saying that Sean said that he was sorry for holding Jude up. But Sean banked the points and move on. Marcus Day now in a 9th place, having a finish second. A pretty quiet race there for him. He was able to get into second, and it just creates a little gap between himself and the second and third place driver. Then Ashol Wilkin, a winner by over 10 seconds. He starts back in 10th place, followed by Adrian Bond in 11th, Tyler Scott 12th, then Robert Stoltz 13th, Len Neary in 14th place, with Morris looking like he's going to have a go, and then Terry Wolford able to get into the lobby. And going to be interesting to see him fighting his way up the field. Why is he not on the grid? That's very strange. So there we go. It is now okay. It was just the angle that he was currently at. But here we go. A rolling start now for the next 25 minutes. That is a very, very close camera view. So as they head towards the line, it looked like Ruan Heineke was caught off guard there, because Gary was able to get on the pedal there, and they are now going to be a 3 wide into turn 1. Everybody seems safe, seeing some contact, but it's just a little bit of touching, but no one really going off. Everybody holding that 2 wide for those couple of corners in the driver's briefing. So that is definitely followed through. Little contact there for Flip. Marcus just dropping a little bit back, but it might have just been some contact. Marcus in 8th place. Ruan Heineke out in front. Has got Gary van der Haar right behind him, so he has been able to get ahead. Let's see the 2 Ferraris in the background there, and that is with Robert and Len Neary. And looks like Morris has been able to get back. The wheel seems to be working. But now to the battle out in front. Ashol Wilkin already moved himself up 1 position. And the man who started down in 9th place, Marcus Stein, he's really moved himself up into 8th place. Move on the inside. Great move there for Michael, finally leaving that door wide open. But now Gary looking to get that slipstream and setting himself up into the first corner. Gary, for a moment there, had that faster second sector. So a great drive there. Sean Lerero has just lost the place to Flip van Zyl. While we say that, we got Marcus Stein in 8th, putting lots and lots of pressure around the outside there. So Sean Lerero currently the quickest on the track. And Ashol Wilkin really trying to get involved with this battle as well. Cameraman Tim just a little bit slow in terms of the camera angles that I'd like to be seeing. Let's see if we can't just get that wider angle. There we go. Just opens up that view just a little bit. So this is the battle now for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th place. So 7th places are very, very closely contested. There's that curb that I was talking about earlier on. Where are they? So I said it was turn 5. It is not turn 5. It is actually turn number 10. Terry and Tyler, a little contact there. Terry going ahead of Tyler Scott and Sean Lerero and Marcus Dane. A little change there. And that was, Jude was mentioning, as long as you got 2 tires on the green stuff, that is considered a valid lap. But the man who is currently fastest on the track, there he is. You can see that purple sector, sector 2 and sector 3. That is Michael Struvik. Want to bring up the second data. There it is, so we can see the gaps. Oh, Michael a little bit slow out of the corner, which has allowed Gary to close up right behind him. So currently Ruan Heineke has got a little bit of a breathing space there between himself and second place Michael. And then it is 0.4 of a gap, then 0.4, 0.7, 0.4, 0.3, 0.7. They've just gone to 0.8. So very, very close there. And like I mentioned, it's very tricky. So that curb is actually turn number 10. I realize what the problem is my track map and the map that I'm seeing up on the screen are almost mirrored. So I've actually got to turn mine completely 180 degrees. That will give me a much clearer view. So Ruan still leads with Michael in second and Gary third. Jude Neville right on the back. And that was very, very wide there in the background there. Fliffensel losing that position to Marcus Day, and Shoal Wilkin slipping up on the inside there as well. So he's now gone up. And Sean Lerero now taking the fastest man on track. Contact there by Jude. Let's see what happened there. So we just jump into our replay. You can see very, very close coming into turn number 2. Then it comes onto the power. He is on the inside, turns up. And oh, looked like there just wasn't enough space there on the inside and just being tapped and turned around. So that was quite unfortunate, but curb there for Sean. Getting that car very unsettled, but he was able to hang on to it. Messages coming up from Vaughan Hill saying Terry Wilfred. Yes, indeed, Vaughan, he is there. Michael now 0.5 of a second off the back of the race leader. Marcus Stein now in 5th place with the race winner from round number 1, or heat 1. Charles Walker right behind him in 6th place, starting to close up that gap. Fliffensal in 7th. We've seen Adrian Bond losing a place there. And that is Robert Stoltz moving up on the inside. It is Porsche of Stein versus Porsche of Lerero. And Scholl taking that a much tighter line there. And getting right up under the rear bumper of Marcus Stein in 5th place. But where it is absolutely cracking is out in front, where Looks like Ruan has got himself some breathing space once again. Michael was right up on the back there, and that gap just seems to have opened up. But Scholl now putting in his faster sectors for Sector 2 and Sector 3. And yet, that lap, his first sector was the quickest. Contact there by Robert and Adrian, and Marius now right on the back of Robert Stoltz. Will this be an overtaking opportunity into turn number 1? And Marius making his intention very early. Sets the car up on the inside, and an easy overtake at the end there. But where the battle is the most intense is between the first place for Heat 1 and second place driver, between Scholl and Marcus Steyn. Scholl 0.4 of a second behind him. Still can't find a way past. And Ruan Heineke in first place in that number 69 is really holding his own there, opening that gap a little bit. And the fastest man currently now on track is Chris Heineke. Sean Loureiro taking that curb on the exit once again, really making his life tricky. So great shot as the competitors come past the start-finish line once again. As the drivers start just settling into that rhythm. And it looks like Marcus has just been able to break that gap there between himself and Scholl, and has now got himself right under Sean Loureiro's rear bumper again. So a person who is starting to make this comeback, and that is Jude Neville, closing up onto Wilfred. Whoa, we have a Ferrari out in the kitty litter. And that is a Robert. We just have a quick look. So that is through turn number 1. Whoa, that's Tyler Scott in the background there. So Robert's all good, and there he goes, just turns in, and that rear just lets go and says, sorry, how's your uncle? Unfortunately, not going that way, and Robert's landing up, bit of a tank slapper. But here we go, 3 wide into turn number 1, and it looked like Scholl had that position momentarily, and he is able to move up on the inside of Marcus Steyn. So Scholl able to get that move done. Marcus seeing him coming and allowing that space. So now Sean is going to have the winner from heat number 1 in the rear. That Lamborghini just lets go. And Scholl just holding that line, defending that inside, not giving Marcus Steyn an opportunity to get around him. But now right behind Marcus is Flip Foncel, who's now closing up on the back there. And it is further down, the battle now between Wilfred and Jude. See that curb, the exit there is so bumpy, so unpredictable. New fastest man on the track is Chris Heineke. Currently holding that fastest lap time. He's got Sean less than half a second behind him. We are currently on lap number 8. 12 minutes left to go, so we have gone past halfway. And once again, it is still too close to say of who can go. It is Daniel the War Machine Morales joining us from the US. How's it, my friends? Code Coconuts time? Yes, it is. Come on, Daniel. We need to see you visiting us more. It's been a long time since you've had the first dibs. And we challenge you for next week. So Sean is still looking for a way. Will he put the nose in? Just not able to do so. Sorry, I missed that. I was looking at some other people, but Charles Wilkin down into 5th. No, okay, sorry, I got myself confused there because it was Charles that got ahead of Marcus, and it is Sean who's chasing Chris Heineke, who's now got Charles behind him. Got a little bit confused there myself. So it's all going to be about the exit now. Is Sean, that Porsche not playing nicely at all. So Charles being able to get that position. And at the end, before he's gone into the corner, he is able to make that stick. But out in front, this is Michael Strubeck versus Chris Heineke. Apologies, Ruan Heineke. There's Chris in 3rd place with Charles in 4th. So this battle for 1st, 2nd and 3rd is going to get even more tricky. And we've only got 10 minutes left of the race. Just hear how close these guys currently are. Sean Lerero in 5th. He still has a chance here to catch a podium. And it just shows you this reverse grid definitely comes to play as Chris runs a little bit wide. Looked like he was opening the door there for Charles. Charles just couldn't get that power down and get the drive out. Sean Lerero still trying to bring the fight here. Daniel, all I can say is I feel really confident that that thing on the straight is going to be absolutely amazing. I wouldn't want to be behind the driver's seat trying to get that through Porsche curves when you just about flat out as you approach there. So straight line, great. Cornering, not so great. But now we've got less than 10 minutes, and you can see how close it is now. Because that is 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. And a Flip van Zyl there in 7th place in the picture. So the first 7 places in the same frame. We could not be asking for any more. As Marcus... sorry, not Marcus, that is Chris Heineke, had Michelle Wilkin right on the inside there. And Sean Lerero waiting, just waiting for a little opportunity, waiting for something to happen. So Chris showing his intention and clipping the rear of Michael Strubeck on the brakes there. So that is very unfortunate there for Michael. He was doing so well, just struggling to get this car back on the track. So it is now Ruan Heineke out in front, Chris in 2nd, Sean Lerero in 3rd. Whoa! Contact there between Sean and Charles. So we're seeing they are going side by side. Sean on the curb, Charles having a look on the inside. Sean then backing out. They now are side by side. Then into the braking zone. Little clap of the curb. Sean is unsettled and bounces into Sean. That was such a pity. That was a great battle that those guys had set up there. I'm not seeing Ruan Heineke down in 11th place. What happened to him? So there's Ruan Heineke now going into the pits. So a drama right near the end. We'll have to just check whether there's any investigation in terms of the stewards wanting to see what happened there. But now we've got Chris Heineke now in first place with Marcus Steyn in second, Fiffensel in third. Then it is Jude fourth, Robin Wilson, then Gary van der Haar, Charles Wilken, Michael Strubeck, Sean Herrera down in ninth, Marius, he's made it up into 10th place, Tyler Scott 11th, Ruan is back on track with Adrian Bond in 13th, Terry Wolford 14th, Robert Stolt 15th, and Len Neary bringing up the rear in a 16th place, but it looks like this time he will avoid being lapped, which is definitely a good thing. So currently this is the battle now for first, second and third. We see Chris Heineke in the front there, followed by Marcus Steyn. So back-to-back second places there for him. Lala, no problem. So what's happening is we are dual streaming here this evening, and that's where all our streams go. So they go from YouTube as well as Facebook. So definitely not a new question. So less than 5 minutes, so we in that last 3 laps left to go. We got Imagine as ZA saying go Len. So 2 people supporting Len Neary here this evening. Michael just dipping a tire in the dirt there on that exit. So Daniel, that sounds absolutely fantastic. He's saying he's in Chicago where NASCAR's having their road course in July and he's trying to get tickets. Well, Daniel, definitely send us some pics. Tyler saying, go brother. Hey, Gerard Janssen van Vuren. Our Scarpy saying, gooi. And Tyler saying, go LTR. 3.5 minutes left. Tyler having a look on the inside of Ruan. And a great move there for Tyler. He is going to have the inside now. So Ruan will have to be very cautious now on the brakes. Ruan going to try go around the outside. And Tyler just kicking the dirt on the inside apex. But now Ruan will have the faster exit. Side by side again. Now Ruan's on the inside. And will get the double left-hander. And Tyler does the little cutback. A great battle here from these two. But now Tyler will be on the inside for the next corner. Mind that curb. You can see how the car are bouncing up all over the place. But great little battle there. So Jude Neville in the Porsche has come back and put himself up into 3rd place. It does seem to be going a little bit slower with Flip van Zyl trying to go around the outside. That's through turns, yes, through turn 9, then turn number 10. Little rejoin there from Terry Wolford, fortunately coming off there, turn number 1. Oh, Jude is very wide out of the last corner, and he's now going to be pulling a Flip and a Wolford with him. And again, all drivers using the maximum amount of that runoff. So Scholl now on the back of Gary van der Haar. So 25 seconds left of this race. Will Scholl be able to find one more position, just a kick of the rear as he touched that inside curb. So this is where the final battle is happening, and this could still possibly be for the last spot on the podium. Jude is currently in 3rd, and anything can happen. We've seen how loose the rear of that Porsche is, and does it give an opportunity to Flip or Wilfred to move themselves up the order. Scholl still battling 0.3 in the background there. What is going on here? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of that race. Chris Haneke comes home in 1st place with Marcus Steyn 2nd. In 3rd is Jude Flip van Zyl 4th, Wilfred 5th, Gary van der Haar in 6th, Scholl Wilkins 7th, Sean Lerero, Michael Struwek, then Marius, Ruan Heineke 11th. We then got Tyler Scott 12, Adrian Bond 13, Terry Wolford 14, Robert Stoltz in a 15th, and Len Neary in a 16th position. So to everybody that joined us on the stream, I hope you enjoyed that. We see that we do have 5 minutes left So what I'd like for me to do is just try and get Chris, Marcus, and Shoal in here. So Alala saying, nice show, guys. Dylan, Tyler, see you next time. Thank you so much, Lala, for joining us all the way from Spain. It's always a pleasure to have our international viewers joining us. So guys, we've just invited our race winners. Haven't quite figured out who won yet. Unfortunately, I am flying solo this evening, but we will get the updated points in. We see where we've got Mr. Flip on sale. So Flip, if you're happy for a chat.
Hello, Dylan.
Good evening, sir. So, Valencia, not really one of your favorite tracks, is that true?
No, I like it.
Okay, fantastic. Well,
it's not as bad as Design.
I must say,
No,
that was probably one of the craziest, tightest races I've seen in a very, very long time. The fact that first to seventh was so close, fighting for so long, was absolutely fantastic to see.
we were running 32, 32 and a half all the way through the race. The competition is ridiculous. It's amazing.
Absolutely fantastic to see, and all I can say, the amount of comments that we were getting in from the guys that were on the stream was absolutely fantastic. Really awesome to see. Marcus, let's go to you quickly. I'm pretty sure that you won overall for the day with 2 second places. That reverse grid fighting through on such a closely contested track must have been absolutely crazy.
Oh no, look, it was crazy, especially with this Porsche, the rear gets a little bit loose on you if you have to do hard braking into a corner, and I had to do that a couple of times to avoid some wrecks. But yes, it was some tight racing, door to door. The guys, lots of respect. Some of the best racing I've had in a long time.
No,
Take my hat off to the guys. That was epic.
That's absolutely fantastic. And unfortunately, yeah, Sean and Shoal had such a close battle, and it looked like Sean just clipped that curb, and all that did was just push him wide into Shoal. And unfortunately, the two of them spun, which opened the door there for you.
Yes, yes, it was close. I was literally threading a needle there. I actually thought I was going to hit Shoal because he was a little bit behind with the synchronized spinning, and somehow missed him and also hit the curb. But I managed to keep the car on track. The back was bouncing all over the place, but yeah, I was very, very happy to see I wasn't spinning myself.
No, absolutely fantastic. Let's go to you, Chris. Chasing down Rowan out in front there, and it looked like it was a little bit of a late break in. Unfortunately, just tagging Michael Struvic, going, I think it was about turn number 3. But again, just so close. The competition was, it was so difficult. At one point, we had the shot of the first 7 drivers all within the first frame, and it was like that for quite a while.
Yeah, no, it was an awesome racing tonight. I must say, I have to apologize to Michael Stewart there running to the back of him, just touching him there. But I thought I was going to get the inside line, but he closed the door on me, and yeah, unfortunately I just couldn't make it in time. But yeah, I suppose that's racing. But it's awesome. It's tight racing. Yes. Charles Wilkins made me sweat there for a while to try and defend him there. I managed to do that luckily. I don't know how, but I did. Yeah, and it's funny to see them go off there behind me. I don't know what happened there. I couldn't see, but it was awesome racing. And yeah, Ron in front there, yeah, was keeping the pace. I thought, geez, what's up with this car? Not the team. So then I did pull up to that point. So I don't know what happened. He jumped into the pits. So I don't know if he ran out of fuel or what happened, but I don't know why he jumped into the pits.
Yeah, well, we also didn't quite catch it on our side, but I'm sure the stories will reveal itself as the days and the evening go on.
Yeah, but it's good close racing. It's awesome. The guys are showing nice respect, especially this couple of laps. So no, it's awesome.
No, absolutely fantastic. So, guys, thank you very much for coming back and racing with us for another season. To Flip, you and your LTR guys, thank you very much for coming back. And then to all the people that were on the stream, great comments. Thank you very much for all the interaction. And then a big thank you to our sponsors, and that is Orion Shopfitters, who are providing us with the prizes, as well as Schick. There will be some hampers given out to some of the drivers. Not forgetting our partners with the race servers that we use for the practices, supported by nag.co.za, powered by Nutanix, and as well as MSI, who give us the partnership in terms of us giving the stream and the equipment behind the scenes. So everybody, guys, thank you very, very much. We will see you next week, where we change the format up slightly. We will get the points updated. But a big thank you to everyone, guys. And all I can say is, until then, keep practicing, keep racing, and thanks for